Well, it's been a long time since we've been away, but we are back. Welcome to the fourth round of the Formula Waga 2018 Championship. We are live from the Autodromo Enzo Dino Ferrari in the north of Italy for the San Marino Grand Prix and the second race of the European season. We missed the first race of the European season, which of course was in Spain, which happens to be last race for many drivers, including the championship contender Robert Jukic, who has left after feel that he just can't really keep up for some reason or not. I could be very much wrong, but anyway, things hoping to be back on track, and yeah, we're just getting started right now. And I should point out there will be a few things that have been missing in this broadcast, so please forgive me on those fronts, including the lower thirds, which of course are gone now. But I will say, as my name is Squire, I'll be taking you through the racing here today, and joining alongside me in the commentary booth is both oh god, Jeffrey Backer and Richard C. Hello Richard, and hello Jeff.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to everyone, apparently.
Yeah, good morning. Apparently,
It is morning in Imola, so you know.
Yeah, morning in Imola, but it's actually the evening here in the UK, and of course it's holiday. And in case you haven't noticed yet, the clocks have gone forward 1 hour last night. So we're officially, it's British summertime. Goodbye GMT, hello British summertime, and all that malarkey. And well, we've got some new drivers, including some returning faces, because we've got the return of the well-beloved Nova Racing team that has been forwarded by Mr. Ruben van den Hudding of Drillers, of course, at the moment. Well, are they here yet at the moment? The Nova cars?
I'm sorry?
The Nova cars, are they here yet?
Yes. Roy.
There's Roy on the train.
Right.
I think George Roach album doesn't race.
Okay, do excuse me for a second. We're just having a little bit of voice difficulties at the moment with Mr. Jeff. Just need to turn down a bit. Jeff, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I'm just messing with my own voice settings a bit, so that might have tricked everything up.
Alright, so I had to turn your voice down a bit because, well, it's kind of deafening our viewers. Anyway, sorry for that. Anyway, let's get into the business side of things. Qualifying is just about to start, and so we've got George Roach, and who else is it for Nova?
Roy Lichensvold.
Roy Linsvold, of course, making his. Did he make his debut back in Spain? I'm kind of behind on a bit.
I do not remember, but I don't think so.
And hold on, wait a minute.
I
I see an American car in the pit lane, and who's driving it? Roy Linsvold.
That might be a mistake.
That may be a huge mistake.
From your part, because here it's Nova.
I don't know, because I actually updated my mod a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I did too. It shows Nova here.
Nevertheless, we crack on. We crack on.
But for now, we'll just pretend the American is a Nova car for now.
You didn't see anything.
Yes. And to your team, Richard, George Day he's still there, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Ernest Lappins in the new TRC livery, which of course looking absolutely fantastic, if I may say so myself.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Other people, of course, here, Alfie Lawrence for the NRWO, of course, we're in for Drillers. Clip for Eidos, Sergio Quattrocchi and Massimiliano Riboli for both Force cars. They're really doing well this season, both Force cars, aren't they? But they're not doing well right now because Riboli just gone off.
Well, it's they're being good on qualifying, but the thing is they lose a lot of luck on the races. So yeah, it's just a matter of luck until they get some important points in the battle for the top field.
Yeah, and of course, one team that has really caught our eye as well is the returning to winning form back at Spain for one Max Shepard, of course, who had like somewhat of a mixed first couple races of the season. He retired in Australia. He managed to get himself some points in Bahrain, and of course got the win back in Spain. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Mac really if he wants to win the championship, of course, he, like I said before, he needs to put the pressure on, especially on the drillers Jan Wozka, who of course is leading the drivers' championship at the moment. So
well, the race in Spain was really, you know, full of surprises. We had Robert Jukic with his Kamizake moves into Philippe Cons, but also the comeback of Vulcan to winning waves, and that is really crucial to the battle for the championship with drillers and possibly maybe with Novas, that they are back now with two great drivers as well.
So yeah, we're just having a look at the driver standings. Jan Wozka, of course, still leading the race. He's only got one win and a podium in the first 3 races of the season so far, and he only leads, if my memory doesn't fail me, by only 8 points. Max Shepard, of course, only 8 points behind, with of course a third and a first in the first 2 races of the season, first 3 races of the season. Of course, he DNF'd in the first race, so only 8 points behind. So a win today basically will take him back up top. Robert Jukic, of course, he's no longer racing despite the series, despite only having 2 second places, and of course having a fantastic start to the season, only to have a fail only after 1 DNF. He could have continued on, but no, he just chickened out. Fourth, of course, is Jacob Reed, who of course had a disastrous start to the season in Australia, but of course picked up the pace with a 4th and 2nd. Then we got Lawrence Doherty, who of course won in Bahrain just about. Of course, if you remember that race. Philip Coast in of course in 6th. 7th is Clip. 8th, Van den Hudding, and 9th and 10th, of course, both Force cars there. In the constructors, we'll just have a look. Drillers only 3 points ahead of Vulcan. Force Racing really getting themselves among the top 3 at the moment in there. American Racing, of course, was top of the table, but unfortunately they are going down after they are out of the series. Power Maxed RSR, which is called Reed Sim Racing, are 5th. 3D Sports 6th. IDOS 7th. ISR 8th. Team Reality Checked in 9th. And Iris in 10th. The rest, the only other team who scored points is Kingfisher. Those who are not scored points are VRT, NRWO, and Cruise.
That Vulcan partnership with VRT really working out for them.
Yep, working out for Vulcan in particular, but not so much for VRT. Sorry to say for that. And people said at the beginning of the season that VRT were destined to take over, unlike NRWO, but we'll have to find out soon. Hold on, I'm being called for a second.
And there's one thing that's already interesting to me that's that I've picked up from the live stream, basically, because I have no access to the track right now, is that the tire choice Max Shepard has chosen, because normally in Q1 he goes for the harder compounds, but this time he's on the ultra soft. So maybe due to the fact that Philip Kraus is not at this race, which is due to some unfortunate reasons, basically. Maybe they can't go for a split strategy they usually do, but it's gonna be interesting no matter what, because Mac has a lot of pace. probably the fastest guy on the field, and if he can already run away from the start, it's very likely they won't see him again. Which would be bad news for people like Jan Woznica and Lawrence Doherty.
It's gonna be a one-man project for Vulcan this time, you know. So all the focus is going for winning the race. So no more strategies for both drivers, just one on track, and that is really important as well for to achieve the win in the drivers' championship for Vulcan. But also, this is very important. If Cross comes back, he will need to be equal with Max Shepard as well.
But right now it's a surprise leader actually, because it's Jacob Reed so far, fastest in the first quali session. But that's not really relevant right now. I just realized that. I just forgot about that. That's just Q1, not full qualifying. So we're looking at the top 10.
And Woznica is just 2 millionth of a second behind Jacob. That is incredible pace for all.
That sort of gaps is kind of what we're going to see, that we're getting used to recently, because the qualifying gaps between the top drivers are really close. Because we have seen gaps under a 10th of a second before between qualifyings, and I think it was actually at Australia where Jan and Mac, I believe, or Mac or Philip, actually tied on the lap time.
I think it was Philip. Yeah, it was Philip. And that was very interesting on the first race, because Robert just out of the sudden on the last second just put on a hell of a lap.
Alright, gentlemen, I'm back. Just need to figure out, is this practice or qualifying? I can't remember.
It's qualifying. Qualifying in Q1 right now.
That's weird, because the timing has over like an hour and a half on it.
There's still 5 minutes to go.
On the live races they say 5 minutes to go, but I think it's a little bug with the game.
Yeah.
But the way people are driving right now, it's easy. It's probably better to assume that it's qualifying.
Indeed. So looking at that, we only got Jacob Reed is of course on pole position by 0.02 of a second ahead of Jan Woznica. Then we've got Shepard, Ribley and in the top 4, Van den Hudding and George Day just following them in 5th and 6th. Quattrocchi, Clip, Doherty and Vulture rounds out the top 10. Vulture, this is the first time we've seen a Vulture this season, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Unless he was also on the Spanish Grand Prix, but I don't remember that race. Is it also the same one for Joseph?
Joseph Petrassi.
I know Joseph is a VRT driver.
Yeah.
I think it's also. I don't think actually it's his first race. And
no, I don't think it's his first race. I think he was in Spain as well. I think he was in Spain.
And here we go. We got both VRT cars in the track. Can they finish on the points this time?
So looking at that, we only got 16 competitors here today. That's a low number, to be honest. A low number. So does that mean that the 105% rule still complies? If it's only 16?
I would assume so, because that's basically what happened last season as well, when the attendance rate was under 10. So I think for consistency's sake, they will still do it. But considering the people that are still around, I think 105% should be an easy mark for everyone.
The only reason I'm saying that is because I'm a little bit worried that if like the majority of the grid here today don't make the 105% rule as Reed goes off, then you would get less than like 10 drivers if we're lucky, around 13 drivers for the race, and that's going to be an absolutely low number if you think about it. It's just sort of thinking, why am I watching a race of 13 drivers? Why?
I can confirm actually right now that everyone is within the 105%.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's a real good thing. Because we want as many drivers here as much as we can. More drivers, more the merrier, and that means more exciting racing. Because you don't know what's going to happen.
It's unfortunate for some that they got new teams, they got new drivers, and suddenly they have some problems that doesn't make them be back on the grid. And the same thing for Philip. Very unlucky for him to miss this race. That's part of racing as well. You just have to move forward and try to bring the best points as you can when you come to the track.
Yeah, and so was that. We only got about 2 minutes left. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
Right, so just over 2 minutes left, and we'll just and then we'll just find out who's going to happen next. So Jacob Reed still leads on pole position at the moment. We have to wait for Woznica to see if he could beat his lap. Let's go on board with him, actually.
And whilst we're nearing the end of Q1, it's going to be interesting of the people of who is going to stay in the top 10. Because right now on the bubble, so to speak, it's Ernest Lappins. And right now I don't see anyone outside it that's on a quick lap. Because they haven't passed sector 1. It's going to be tight for Liam Kingsley, by the way, to set a time at all. I'm not sure where he is on the track, but he should be he just started, so he's gonna have time to do at least one lap.
Just had to mute my mic there for a second because Dion's was just complaining about what we're doing at the moment. Of course, it is a Sunday, so please. Yeah, I'm not going to go into any further details. So anyway, I was just about to, before I say earlier, Jan Woznica made a mistake just before going into the going into the last chicane there, and that may have just cost him his time. He's going to go for another go again just before the session goes out, and for the first sector, he's already 900th of a second faster than Reed. This could be the lap where he takes pole position for the San Marino Grand Prix. Just going into the Acqua Minerale now. Going up.
But we are still in K1.
It's still in Q1, going into the Variante Alta. Nicely done. Only 400ths of a second faster now. Going down into the Ravazza.
Very nice.
Nicely done.
Oh, and just like there, overcorrecting there.
Can he do it here? Can Jan Woznica do it? Yes, he can. Pole. He's got pole. 500ths of a second. Brilliant. Jacob Reed, can he snatch it back? And the answer is... Oh no! He really back-ended it after the last chicane there. Absolutely bad luck then for him. So anyway, let's... And yeah, Liam Kingsley has not put in the time. He's not going to make it. Liam Kingsley's not going to make it.
Has he set a time on the server? Has he?
No.
Okay, then he is out.
So it's been very all along. We already got one driver dropped out. How many more drivers, when it comes to the race, will they be dropped out? How many people now is it in Q2?
I think the standard 10.
Just 10.
Q2 top 10.
Q2 top 10 it is, and
Wait, Kingsley's out. Kingsley's on track.
yeah, and Reed's already gone out just before the. Can he do that? No. Kingsley has made a huge mistake. And so is Kingsley.
Parked the car. He's parked the car.
Seriously, what is going on? Who else is out on track at the moment? And by that, because now qualifying is now officially underway, the second qualifying, and this is for pole position.
Of course, while we're waiting for people to start their laps, do we have any favorite for the pole position this session?
We have both. No, we have a three-way battle for pole position. I think it's Woznica, Reed, and Shepard.
I have two of the three. I don't have Jacob on my short list. I have Lawrence, Doherty, and
Yeah,
You need to mute yourself
don't forget. What?
if you're chewing.
Might be interesting of Lawrence being there up there with the top guys, but let's see, because everything can happen in qualifying, like we saw in Australia. Robert Jukic with the second place on his first race.
whilst the first guys are getting to sector 1, it's
I'm getting so many complaints now, by the way. And now we just been interrupted for some reason or not. I do apologise for that, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, anyway, Doherty is one of those candidates for pole position.
he currently has the fastest first sector time from people who've done them. That doesn't include George Day, Max Shepard, and Jacob Reed, because I have no idea where Max Shepard is on my timing.
Mac is still in first sector.
And then my timing doesn't work for him. That's gonna be very awkward then at some point, but meanwhile Lawrence still also has the fastest sector too. So whilst Ruben van den Honing goes to the pole position, provisional pole position, then behind him the force. And Lawrence does it. He has positional pole. Jesus.
Position of pole. That's very good English, eh?
Yeah, I'm not native English, so I can make those mistakes.
That was brilliant.
Happens. It's the passion. It's the adrenaline of watching Waga racing, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not even watching.
You feel it.
I have to go by taste. By touch. I mean, yeah. It's gonna be one of those days. And hopefully it's only stuck to qualifying where it's kind of bad. But myself, but Woznica has sector 1. Maybe he can complete this lap.
It's going pretty fast, going already into sector 3. All around into Variante Alta. Does it very correctly. He moves on to Ravazza. Brake just after the 50 brake marker. Touch the apex. Go. Oh, yeah. That's a good line. Try not to touch the curves a lot because you're going to lose a lot of time there. On to Variante Bassa. Don't overdo the curves. And that's first place.
And by well, a 10th is a decent margin considering the gaps that we have had. But who is currently on a lap right now? It's Sergio Quattrocchi and Max Shepard, with Shepard barely behind Jan currently on the first sector. We'll have to wait to see what he does in a second. And he loses more time on Jan.
Quattrocchi's gonna end his lap right now. He's going through Variante Bassa. Can he make it to top 5? Top 6. Almost there.
Only 2 minutes to go, and Ribley has lost it.
We have Ernest Lappins. He's about to cross Ravazza. Ernest goes up to 7th. With Ribali, how is times with Ribali? Jeffrey.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't understand you correctly.
How's Ribali going?
Quattrocchi, you mean?
No, Ribali.
Oh,
Didn't improve his time, did he? No.
no, he didn't. He made 2 mistakes in both last 2 sectors, so he kind of threw away his lap there. We're still waiting on the last 2 guys. I think they're George Day and Jacob Reed to complete any qualifying lap actually.
Only less than a minute to go. Jan was still on pole
Jacob is
position.
still heating his tires. George hasn't set a time and there's just 30 seconds left. He's gonna start from 10th and then.
Jacob on the lap right now. No, he's not. Magnus again with a good first sector. Lawrence aborted his lap.
Mac
so
has parked the car. Mac has parked the car.
5, 4, 3, 2,
He's gonna
1.
finish 3rd. There we go.
Qualifying.
Jacob isn't on a lap, you say?
Jacob is now on his only lap. He's going to do one-shot qualifying.
Okay. That's quite a challenge for Jacob, isn't it?
And Jacob is going to be the first guy to pass the is the first guy still on the lap that is allowed to complete his lap.
Oh, he spun it. Very big mistake in Variante Alta.
Just classic Jacob at this point. When the pressure gets on, he kind of crumbles.
He has shown there quite perfectly. Oh, he's done it. He's gone to the wall. He has completely destroyed his car. Incredible.
It's a good thing that he's not. It's not real life. Otherwise, he has to start from the pit lane or something, like Bottas did. Although he didn't start from the pit lane, so I'm wrong.
Well, they will have to start from the last places, 10th and 9th, both George Day and Jacob Reed, because they didn't set a time in qualifying too. They would have to start from pit lane if they broke the car, but you can't break the car in Automobilista, can you?
I don't think so. It doesn't carry over to next sessions anyway. But there you have it. We didn't really spoke about it, but we have Jan Woznica on pole. Lawrence Doherty is next beside him. Then we have Max Shepard and Matthew Cliff on the second row. Ruben van den Hooding starts from fifth, while we have the two first cars yet again next behind each other in sixth and seventh, with Quattrocchi leading Riboli. Then the rookie Ernest Laphins going to eighth, which actually I wouldn't expect him to even be in the Q2 qualifying. Seems you made a good signing, Richard.
Yeah, I mean he has great talent, and I knew it from the moment I saw his times. So I had to sign him. You know what I mean? But also there's a good talent as well in George Day, and we've seen it as well in the timing before this race. So oh,
Anyways, we'll be back in a few minutes for hopefully the race. Don't go away. Okay, gentlemen, we seem to be back for the race this time. Everyone's just lining up onto the grid. We had a little bit of difficulties to come on earlier because, well, my game crashed. So we're all getting things sorted now. Everyone, of course, is just lining up onto the grid. Just takes a few more seconds. That's all. So everyone going out on now on their parade lap. So Richard, if you'd like to take us through the grid.
Alright, so we're in Imola. We had a good qualifying session with pole position for Jan Woznica in the Drillers Motorsport car. Behind him is Lawrence Dougherty for VD Sport. Third place, the Vulcan Racing driver. The sole Vulcan Racing driver this weekend because Philip Cross is not racing this time. It's Max Shepard. Fourth place for Iros Motorsports racing driver. Matthew Klipp, fifth, Drillers. Ruben Varenhading, sixth, Sergio Quattrocchi. Seventh, Massimiliano Riboli, both Italians from Force Racing team. We have eighth, the newbie, the newcomer, Ernest Lappins in the team reality check, and behind him his teammate in ninth, George Day. 10th place and last place for Q2. Didn't set a time, and as well for George Day, it's Jacob Reed in the Power Max RSR. 11th, Jack Fulka in the Kingfisher Racing Team. 12th, Alfie Lawrenson in NRWO Motorsports. 13th, the newcomer in Nova Racing, the coming back team in Waga Racing League. Roy Lichtenfeld. 14th, Jake Smith in the VD Sport. And last places for VRTE racing drivers, Joseph Petrazzi and Liam Kingsley in 15 and 16 places.
Yes, it may point out that Kingsley managed to just qualify for the grid based on his practice times. He did not set a time in qualifying, and as you can see on the screen, is actually Lidsfeld is actually he said he's driving for Nova Racing, but according to my screens, he still is driving for American Racing. I don't know if that's a little bit of a bug error. I don't know, but we'll have to find out sooner rather than later. What is going on at the front? Is the pack being forced up too much? We have no idea. Anyway, drivers are going to line up onto the grid now. Woznica is going to take the right of the grid, and left of the grid is going to be taken by Lawrence Dougherty. Stagger formation once everyone is onto the grid. 5 lights will come up at 1 second intervals, and when they go out, it is go. Only 16 cars, that is the lowest Waga racing grid for the season. Two, 3, 4, 5. And we're off in Imola. And we've already got a drive-through penalty for Riboli. And that is a good start from Woznica, going down into the Tamburello. And already got instant at the back. Oh God!
The first turn, I wasn't expecting that to happen.
And Woznica just going off a little bit at the Gilles Villeneuve, going up into Tozer.
Matthew Klipp is out of the race already.
Oh dear me.
Oh no, but he's back on track, is he? Yes, it is.
He's back on track, so let's hope he stays there. Woznica still leading from Max Shepard. Dougherty in third, Quattrocchi in fourth, Van der Hudding in fifth, Lawrenson in sixth, Riboli seventh, Reed in eighth, Kingsley in ninth, and Vulture in 10th.
And that was the accident. The accident in turn 1 was for George Day. He's last place right now.
And Vulture goes off at the Variante Alta. George Day not having the best start that he ever had to this San Marino Grand Prix. We're going into the final corner now for the first. Oh wait a minute! Woznica's going in. Woznica's going in. So that means
that's true.
Shepard now leads the race. Doherty in second, Quattrocchi in third, Van den Hudding in
Oh,
fourth.
but look at that overtake. Ruben in third. No, but they're still battling side by side. And back again for Sergio in third place. What an amazing overtake.
And looks like Quattrocchi needs to look after himself because the drill is drilling getting hard. No, not in that way as they go up into Tosa. Goes up and then heading onto Quattrocchi. Going up into turn 4. Going down into the curved Aqua Minerale.
Very, very hard battle there with Quattrocchi and Ruben. They have to be very careful. They don't want to touch each other and potentially break a very good chance of finishing in the podium.
Yeah, but as going through Variante Alta, one of the trickiest corners, of course, on the track, very smoothly now down into Ravazza. And you have to say that looks like Quattrocchi might have just secured himself the third place there, because Van den Hudding, of course, is a little bit lagging off a little bit there. He's really just didn't really catch up to him. And Lawrenson is also keeping an eye on things as well. He's only just close behind as well. So we'll have to find out what happens there.
Can you move the camera back to Travis Mosnica? He's battling with Matthew Clip and Ernest Lappens. Three-way battle for the first turn.
And Matthew Clip just losing it at the Tamburello. And and there goes Lappens up into ninth as Wozaka pulls away, but Lappens really trying to make sure he keeps it calm.
Very aggressive, very aggressive. Oh, and then Riboli goes wide, almost touching Matthew Clip behind.
Yeah, and his teammate Quattrocchi nearly having to go at Lawrenson, who's briefly in 5th, but now going back down into 6th. And now there's you have to think there's a little bit of a train now forming behind Reed, who's actually just fallen down. Actually, it's Quattrocchi who's actually fallen down. Sorry, my apologies. Quattrocchi's actually fallen down into 6th. He was 3rd a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and Reed is up from 10th.
And Reed's gone wide!
Oh no! Commentator's curse, shall we say?
Well, it's not exactly commentator's curse because we were not complimenting Reed. We were not complimenting Reed.
I was about to say that Jacob had started from 10th and was already on 4th, but then he went wide onto the gravel. It's now overtaking. Yes, it is. 5th place, turn 1, very easy with the DRS.
This means Doherty now leads ahead of Shepherd. Then it's Van den Hudding in 3rd, Lawrenson in 4th, Reed in 5th, Quattrocchi in 6th, Kingsley 7th, Wozaka 8th, Lappens 9th, and Clip rounds out the top 10. This is starting to turn into an exciting Grand Prix indeed, as Wozaka has to go at Kingsley for 7th place. He's going out to Tosa, going uphill. Oh, Wozaka needed to be a little bit controlling there, and Wozaka goes wide a little bit.
He's going too aggressive. He's going too aggressive with his racing style. He needs to back off.
Jan has to realize he's fighting against people that he's really.
And Lawrenson goes wide.
Oh.
Reed can actually close up onto him now. Going down into the Ravazza. I'll brace himself a little bit there.
Kingsley, yeah, he's done it.
Kingsley just over no, wasn't actually overtakes Kingsley. He's now going to catch up onto Quattrocchi.
Oh, very close, very close. He needs to back off, really. He's going to punt out some of his opponents.
And from my point of view, he needs to calm down. Oh, wait a minute, here comes.
Oh, they're touched, but not enough.
They touch, but Wozaka gets through into 6th place. And now heads down the NRW of Lawrenson, who's actually in battle with Reed.
At this rate, Jan Mosnica is going to kill his tire life.
Yeah, but Wozaka needs to do what he needs to do to get onto the top spot of the podium. And at this pace, he's trying his best. I'm telling you now, he's really trying his best.
Like I tried to say before, Jan has to realize that he's fighting against people that he's clearly quicker than. then, but apparently he's done a great job, because you need to be patient when racing against slower people. Then you don't need to rush it. You know you're quicker. Just take your time and do it safely.
Yes, indeed. But he's still killing his lifetime because he's keeping up with locking up the tires on the brakes. And oh, is that Quattrochi pitting? Yes, it is.
Yeah, Quattrochi's in the pits. In he comes. This is going to turn the context of the race once again. Oh! Reed's gone off! Reed's gone off! At the Tamburello!
He's back on track.
He's back on track. But what this does mean, once again, is that Lawrence goes back up into 4th. And now under huge pressure from Wazuka. Surely Wazuka is going to overtake him at some point. Surely Wazuka is going to overtake Lawrence at some point, because Lawrence cannot hold off Wazuka anymore. He cannot. Oh, wait a minute! And Van den Hunting seems to have let himself down there. Are they going to box him in? Are both runners, guys, going to box Lawrence into come to the pressure of Wazuka? Going down into the Ravazza. Yes, he does. And unless he does on there as well. And I think
a nice overtake was that. 2 in 1.
And that's the main reason. Look, Van den Hunting has lost his front nose cone. And now Lawrenson.
Wait, Jacob was ahead of Ruben, so I suspect they both collided.
Yep, Ruben's now in the pits. Wazuka's in 3rd. Lawrenson back in 4th. This has got to be an unpredictable race. This is a hugely unpredictable race. I have to say that now.
2 returns already. It's Kingsley and Jacob Reed. And look at Ernest Lappin's 5th place in his first race.
That is brilliant so far. And Van den Hunting just comes out of the pits and has just holed up. I believe that was Jake Smith, was it? Was it Jake Smith who was trying to get it past him?
Jake Smith is currently a lap behind on everyone, so I doubt it.
And Lawson goes off! Oh dear, oh dear. Lawson goes off again. What is happening there? He's still 6th. No, he's down to 7th. And he's down to 8th. He's still trying to keep it on track as much as he can.
It's understandable because Acqua Minerale, it's a very complicated turn. You know, if we go too much on the curve, he's going to lose the rear of the car. And you're going downhill and uphill on the same turn. Very complicated and very easy to lose the car there.
It needs to be said as well that Lawson needs a good result, because back in Spain he was actually, as Matthew Clip gets a drive-through penalty, he was actually on the cusp of quitting the NRW as well as Formula Waga altogether because of what happened back in Spain. He is trying his utter best to make sure that doesn't happen now. He needs this result more than anything else, as Lappins gets a drive-through penalty as well. Your boy.
Has he?
Yep, drive-through penalty.
I saw him get out of the pit lane, so I guess he was just pitting in pit lane.
Yeah. So now this.
George Day, meanwhile, 4th place.
George Day is in 4th place. That is still a good result, nevertheless.
It still has to pit, probably. Oh no, he's out of the race, has he? Yeah.
George Day out of the race, is he? Yeah. Oh, he's no, not quite out of the race. He's still coming on to it. He's still trying to keep on track as much as he can. He's going to rejoin in 9th place. It could be 10th anytime soon. Here comes Van den Hunting just coming up behind him into the Variante outer. Here comes Van den Hunting. Nope, doesn't really give him room there as George Day crosses across the grass.
And that just proved my point, because Acqua Minerale, it's a very complicated corner. You have to hit it.
It was a Variante outer. It was. I'm sorry to put it there, but that was Variante outer as more drivers come into the pits.
Yeah, before
Max Shepard's in the pits.
Max Shepard's in the pits for actually a replacement of a front nose cone. What has happened there? No, seriously, everything has been going topsy-turvy in this race. It's unbelievable.
I think it's the same corner that a lot of drivers have trouble with it. I don't know the name of where George Day also went off. Because after that, he suddenly lost a lot of time. So apparently there's going to be a race of nutrition. So making sure you stay safe. That's going to be an important part here.
And both Ford's cars in the top 4.
Jack
Can they finish in the podium this time?
Jack Fulcher made a mistake just going out of Villeneuve.
Whilst I can report two more retirements, it's Roy Linesfeld and Matthew Clip that have jumped out of the cars. And a scene I've never thought that I ever see. It's a Waga race and Max Shepard is a lap down.
Yeah, it's a lap down. We already got 4 retirements already. Jacob Reed is out. Kingsley is out. Lidsveld is out. And Clip is out. We only got about 12 drivers left. 12 drivers left. That's all that remains.
Jeffrey, has anyone not pitted so far?
My timing doesn't work for that, but I think Lawrence didn't, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Lawrence is the only one who hasn't pitted so far. As we know, he could pit in the next couple of laps, or otherwise he might do the same strategy as he did back in Bahrain. Just one stop and really just put the hammer down.
Technically, Jan also didn't stop because that was only for a drive-through, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't actually.
Well, he just set the fastest lap of the race, so he's trying to claw Lawrence back in.
Look at that, the Force brothers. Can you put the camera on them? It's very interesting. They're close to each other.
So let's see what's happening now.
Well, something between the fourth cars apparently, which is... I don't think there will be a lot happening because they're both teammates, so... There's one thing you don't want to do, and that's kill your teammate.
100% true. Don't ever take out your teammates. But that is kind of the same situation that both Force cars are dealing with right now. Both third and fourth at the moment. Dribbly leading ahead of Quattrocchi going into the Variante Alta. The thing is Dribbly going to let Quattrocchi through? Because Quattrocchi has an incredible turn of pace on him at the moment!
Incredible.
Rule number 1, don't take out your teammates. What happened there? Takes out your teammate. Oh wait, he's lagging.
But he did go out of the track.
He's lagging.
Quattrocchi touched the rear of his car, so he went straight through to the gravel.
Yeah, but Ribley, like I said, is lagging.
Not anymore. He's back on track.
But for how long?
Behind him is Alfie Lawrenson.
And about Alfie Lawrenson in 7th, so Ribley under huge pressure from the NRWO now. Here he comes up into Tamburello.
Not quite, because Ribley had already the DRS open because of Jake Smith that was ahead of him, the lap car.
But he's still maintaining pressure on him as much as he can. Lap 12 out of 31 now. Wozniacka still, and Doherty is still leading ahead of Wozniacka Quattrocchi and Lappins in 4th. 5th is Brandon Hudding. 6th is Ribley. 7th is Lawrenson. 8th is Fulcher. 9th is George Day. And 10th is Shepherd. Away bit! Thanks to looks like it was Jake Smith there. Alfie Lawrenson now has a chance, a proper chance to actually get up onto Ribley again. Through the Rafazza now.
There we go. He might do it on the DRS because Ribley has nobody ahead of him. Into Variante Paso we go. DRS activation zone.
DRS activation zone. Going down. Comes down towards Tamburello.
But maybe he's too far. Yeah. Not quite enough.
Not enough, yes.
Shepherd is pitting again.
Shepherd's in the pits once again. It's not going well for the world champion. I can tell you that much now.
I think this is gonna be the first WRL race where Waga doesn't score, where Vulcan doesn't score points. I don't think I ever thought of saying that.
That is going to be an absolute surprise if Vulcan doesn't score any points. They were going somewhat strong throughout this season so far, and now it's just falling apart, basically.
I mean, they've dominated the Formula Waga 2017 season, and in 2018, Jan has come up, Lawrence has shown up. That apparently has unraveled the iron grip Vulcan had on the series.
That's a huge surprise. I think it's the switch to simulators that has actually contributed to them, because the 2017 season was the last one on R Factor, but this one is the first season on Automobilista, and they've really struggled to match the pace of R Factor, even though they're not showing that they're struggling, because let's face it, they really performed well in pre-season. They performed well so far in terms of trying to get points, but today, what's happening?
But things would be very different if Philip Cross was here. Just a matter of luck, by the looks of things. Meantime, while this is all happening, Drillers is just getting all the points they need, and I'm really betting on Drillers winning the Constructors' Championship this season.
And Jake Smith makes a little bit of a mistake. And also, don't forget the unsung guys as well, in terms of the constructors as well, because you got the Force Racing Team newbies to the season, and they've really shown so far. Really outshone the opposition. They've done so well. Even though there's been a little bit of questionable tactics, somewhat, they're actually doing fantastic. So don't forget that.
Yeah, the Force drivers have gotten incredible luck today, and they have incredible pace as well. It's just the luck that they have been missing around, and you saw there the collision with the Quattrocchi and Riboli. That's the kind of stuff that makes people lose the potential of finishing the top 5 because of these collisions. You know, you don't want this to happen. You want to have a clean race, and you want to also win. But to win, you have to achieve all your other goals.
Yes, because to finish first, you first have to finish. Isn't that saying, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Ron Dennis.
Yep. So we're only about 16 laps in out of 31. We're officially halfway through the race. Doherty still leads ahead of Wazuka and Quattrocchi. That is your top three. Lapid's in fourth. Sorry?
I want to say that Ribbley made a mistake. He's down to 8th, I mean, and Lawrence and Fulcher have passed him.
So both Kingfisher and NRWO will of course benefit from that. So let's have a look for the standings once again. So Doherty still leads the way ahead of Wazuka and Quattrocchi. Those are your top three. Lapid's in fourth, Van den Heuning in fifth, Lawrenson as Jeffrey just said in sixth, seventh is Fulcher, eighth is Ribbley gone down, and Day and Petrassi are in the top 10 despite being a lap down. They're still racing. In 11th is Max Shepherd, and just rounding out the rest of the field is Jake Smith in 12th. Those who have retired are Matthew Clipp, Roy Lidsfeld, Liam Kingsley, and Jacob Reed.
Jake Smith already 2 laps down. Is this the kind of performance he had last season? I think it's
actually the kind of performance he has in pre-season as well, to be honest. Because I didn't really know what he was like last season, to be honest. So, and Jake Smith makes a mistake in the background, right in front of Wazuka.
I'm going to choose to believe that wasn't in team order to make Jan lose time.
Yeah,
that's quite interesting.
Let's hope that was not a team order, because the last thing that Wazuka wants is someone plotting against him, because that would infuriate the pole. That would infuriate him.
And look at that, Jan Woznica is catching up. Lawrence Doherty, 2 seconds per lap.
Wazuka really trying to catch up onto Doherty. He made a little bit of a side going through Aqua Minerale there, so he might lose a little bit of time there. With it, he actually gained time a bit.
Maybe by the end of the race, Jan Woznica might be able to overtake Lawrence. Perhaps when the pit windows open again.
We have to find out if Doherty is actually going to pit in the next few laps or so.
I'm gonna guess it's coming to the end of Lawrence's of his tire life, and that's why he's starting to lose pace at a rapid rate. Because again, 2 seconds a lap, that's a lot.
And don't forget, this is like the exact same situation at Bahrain when we thought Dukic was actually going to win the race after Doherty's like risky pit calls. We're thinking if Doherty wants to continue winning this race and hoping to actually get back into this thing, then he needs to pit. But right now he's actually losing pace. He's actually getting guys lapping themselves.
Quattrocchi into the pits, and Ernest is in 3rd place.
But wait a minute, here comes Wazuka. Wazuka's actually caught up now. Into Aqua Minerale. Here he comes, up to Variante Alta.
No, it's not a good corner to overtake. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it in Ravazza, maybe.
It's most likely to be Ravazza. Here he comes, Wazuka going down into the first Ravazza. No,
so close.
So George isn't going to be happy about this, because apparently it was George Day that caused him to lose a lot of time, because George actually unlapped himself.
Yeah, George Day and Lawrence Doherty actually comes in this time. And as you can see on your screen right there, Wazuka needs to come into this lap as well. As you can see on the
against 3 DRS. So that means if Woznica pits and he does a good pit stop, he will be ahead of Lawrence.
Yeah. But Wazuka needs to fly on his in lap. He needs to fly. So 16 seconds when he came out of the pit lane. Wazuka needs at least 18 to 19 seconds in order to get out in front safely. Otherwise, it's actually going to be all in vain for Wazuka. As looks like George Dave spins out in front of him. Doesn't really spoil his move there. Quattrocchi actually back up into third. Lappins in fourth. Lawrenson in fifth. And Van den Hoonig in sixth. Ribley in seventh. Those are the ones who still haven't been lapped yet. George Day in eighth. Fulcher in ninth. And Petrassi in 10th. Wait a minute. Wazuka's not coming in.
He's going to push hard. He's going to kill those tires. He's going to lose a lot of time. That's not a good strategy. He's going to kill those tires, and Lawrence is going to catch up to him with fresher tires.
I think Jan made a huge mistake right here. He lost the race basically. If he hadn't already lost the race with that drive-through, he lost it now.
Yep, he's definitely lost it now. He's definitely lost it now. He's spun a Villeneuve. Wazuka, what have you done?
There we go, race over.
Race over. 10 laps to go. So that means Wazuka on tired tyres, I hope that's not a paraphrase, is needing to defend his lead by blocking out whatever Doherty throws at him. It's just not going to work. Doherty's going to win the race. Unless Doherty makes a huge, I mean a humongous mistake, then Wazuka does have a chance. Wait a minute! Is that Wazuka spinning out in front? No, it's not. It's not. But wait a minute, Wazuka is signaling to come to the pits this time round.
He definitely has to do it. He definitely has to do it.
Does Wazuka come in? Yes, here he is. He's coming in. So let's have a look at Doherty. He's just coming out of the second Ravazza. He's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. And Lawrence Doherty is going to take the lead. There we go. He's taking the lead. Wazuka, what have you done, you imbecile? Sorry for I had to say that. But that is absolutely ludicrous what Wazuka did in the previous lap, because that has spoiled his race.
Well, he's a pretty young guy. I'll hope he'll learn from this and not do this again next race.
But now,
if even we can see that this is a wrong move, then he's making a wrong move.
But now, if he wants to win the race, he needs to fly, and I mean fly.
Meanwhile, I think another thing, it's another bad race for the drivers, because Ruben is in 9th. He's close behind Jack Fulcher, but he was around the top 5, and now he's in 8th.
See what happens next.
He's going to have some traffic ahead of him, and it is indeed his teammate Ruben and George Day.
So Van den Hoonig needs to move out of the way now. He needs to move out of the way now.
He should move out of the way and then follow Jan in the slipstream.
George Day is now in the pits, and there we go. Lovely teamwork there. Now go on, Jan. Just push it, push it, push it, push it. 30 minutes gone. We're in the closing stages of this race. Only 8 laps to go.
And I wonder what happened to Ernest. Is now 10 seconds behind Sergio Quattrocchi, and he was just behind him before the pit stop.
Ridley's also in 5th, and 6th is Alfie Lawrenson. Hopefully he gets some good points there for the NRWO.
What's actually still shocking to me that despite closing a gap from a pit stop between Petroschi and Shepard still hasn't passed him back. Shepard's still outside of the points.
As Alfie Lawrenson comes into the pits. Doherty is also... Doherty's going to go past the pit lane now.
Ruben just behind Alfie. Maybe in the coming laps he will be able to overtake him in the DRS zone. Or maybe now he goes wide. And that's an overtake by Ruben. He's 6th now.
He's 6th. Lawrence in 7th. Still got some points on the board there. So that's alright for him. There's only 7 laps to go.
Oh, and that's the VRT racing driver. He's out of the race. He's retired.
Who's retired?
Joseph Petrazzi.
Joseph Pedrassi, and that's both VRT drivers out.
So that means Max Shepard is now 10th. And he spins.
Max Shepard's 10th and spins. That is not good for the champion. Really not good. Only 10 drivers left in this race. Wait a minute. Sorry, 12. Sorry, 11. 11 drivers left in this race. Smith's still here.
You would almost forget about him, but he keeps spinning whenever he's on the screen.
Yeah. Whenever he's on the screen. If you see him on the screen, there we go, spins. Not so much the commentary curse, as much more the screen curse. But also, while we're talking about this, Waska is actually closing up on Doherty. He's only 3 seconds behind. Only 3 seconds behind. With 6 laps to go. This could be another close race.
That's the flying you were talking about. Jan really needs to catch up on this. He will kill the tires. He will catch up Lawrence. Maybe on the last lap he will try to do it, but these tires are so dead that he won't be able to do it in a clean move, or else he backs off and quits the move, or he will potentially collide with Lawrence. Or maybe, but there's a low chance of that happening, Jan actually gets to overtake Lawrence and win the race. So we shall see in the following laps, because there's still something that can happen.
They're not exactly possible. They're not exactly dead, aren't they? Because a few laps ago they've already just pitted in. A couple laps between them, so
these are ultra softs, you know. So if he pushes them like hell, they're gonna be dead.
Yeah, it's most likely that Lawrence's tyres are going to be much more deader than Waska, because Doherty pissed in first, Waska pissed in a few laps later. So Waska does have a little bit of a tyre advantage there. But like you said, there are ultra softs, they could run out it just easily.
There's a difference, because maybe Lawrence might have pitted before Jan Mosnica, but he's saving the tires, which means he can push the car on the last laps. Meanwhile, Jan is doing the opposite. He pitted later and is pushing hard to catch up. Maybe he can have enough tires to, overtake him by the end of the race and overtake him.
I think another important factor to take into account is the fact that we talked about it and commentators' blessing doesn't exist.
So do not say anything at the moment in time in terms of this battle. So let's have a look at the other battles, shall we? Other battles.
There seems to be a big train behind Alfie Lawrence.
Alfie Lawrence. But don't worry, he's still getting points. He's still getting points. Again, commentary curse, what am I doing there?
Just 1.4 seconds behind Lawrence.
George Day really closing up on the NRW there.
That's George Alfie.
And out up he goes into
nice overtaking move. He let him through.
He's let him through.
And Jack spun just behind them.
Jack Fulcher's just spinning behind.
That's a weird place to spin.
And that's the reason why, because he's lost his front nose cone. He's lost his front nose cone. He's going to need to pit.
if he hits, if he loses a lot of time, Max Shepard might be able to get up to 9th place. That's 2 points.
That's 2 points. But in terms of the championship, it's not really going to contribute much, to be honest.
Better to have 2 points than 0, which was where White Mac was gonna get if he finished in the positions he was at the start of the race, 11th place.
Meanwhile, back at the front, we have to go back to the front because there's now 7 tenths behind between the top 2 at the moment.
Very intense battle here. I'm very interested in what's gonna happen. Very close, and that's traffic ahead.
Traffic ahead. This actually might contribute to Wazuka catching up more. There's only 6 tenths now.
Focus on Lotus and Jan, but I'm telling you, George Tate just overtook Ruben Budding-Hudding. More traffic ahead. That's Jake Smith.
Jake Smith. Oh.
Oh, he pushed wide. He pushed Jan Masnica wide, but that's okay.
That's okay at the moment of time. There's only 6 tenths now. This is going to be an accelerated battle. This is going to be like Bahrain all over again. But this time it's Jan Wazuka going up against Doherty. But this time we believe that Jan Wazuka can actually pull this out of the bag. But again, competition curse, please.
And you know what I always say.
What?
Don't crack under pressure.
Yeah, please don't crack under pressure.
Because that's what usually happens with Jan Woznicka. Every time he is in the position to win the race, he just cracks under pressure. He loses the car. This time he doesn't have to do it. He needs to be very concentrated. Just a couple of laps left, and Lawrence, his rival, just in front of him. He needs to keep concentrated, and not lose the car. He'll be going to Variante Alta.
Oh, he loses
it! He loses it. There you go. Commentator's curse.
Why? Why is all this happened to us? Why? Sorry, Lawrence is just going to continue on. He's doing well. He's doing well. Commentary curse, please kick in. Commentary curse, please kick in.
Maybe that's just a sign of the tire life I was talking about before. He's pushing too hard, and this tire just can't keep up with him.
So it's now certain that Doherty's going to win the race. It's just now certain, isn't it?
Everything can happen. Everything can happen.
Anything can happen,
look
but
look at that. Look at that. Jan just can't get any grip by that corner. Toza.
just can't right there. Go into Aqua Minerale. Go to the Variante Alta.
He's pushing really hard, Jan Masnica, but he's losing time there. He's losing time. He lost 1 tenth in just one sector. We're about to
And Wazuka goes wide again.
Just 2 laps to go now for Lawrence Doherty.
Only 1 more lap to go. And this has been an outstanding race from Doherty. A really outstanding race. Had to put up with a lot of pressure in the early parts of the race, but he's really come out of it. Going to become the first double winner of the 2018 season is Lawrence Doherty.
No! Jan Masnica almost losing the rear of the car, but he corrected it. They're very close now. Just 5 tenths.
Yeah, they're very close, but the gap is only just going to widen. Unless a miracle happens, then Doherty is going to win the race.
Doherty went to the gravel just a little bit there. They're very close.
Oh, wait a minute!
I told you something was going to happen. Something was going to happen.
Yeah, but not yet. And there we go. That's a little loss of pace again. Oh, wait a minute. It's not. Not yet. Not yet. Can he make a diving move? He's taking a diving move! Oh! He's took it! Oh, my word!
At the same time, George Davis.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. He's going to take it the inside. He's going to take the inside. He's going to take it the inside. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, my God! What?
What is this?
What has happened?
Quattroci.
What's a good wins, but what the hell? What?
The race is officially over. This was amazing, was it?
What the hell is going on now?
That was amazing.
No. In all my years of, well, not much years of commentary, but in all my times of doing this, I've never witnessed this kind of an end to a race. Let's have a look at this replay. It all started Adrian Vatsa. It wasn't good, just pushes through. We thought he was going to win it. But then, it comes down to the last corner. Doherty had the inside line. We go on board with Doherty now. Had the inside line. And then he lost the back end. He lost the back end and went into Wazuka. He goes up in the air, hits the ground running.
Was looking at that.
Oh my God! Wazuka wins the race, but
that's very controversial.
What in the holy hell just happened? What?
I've seen a lot of cars flying in my day, but not these.
What? What? Oh my God. So anyway, Wazuka wins the race in extreme circumstances. Doherty in second in extreme circumstances. The only one that is not in extreme circumstances as I finished was Quattroci in third. Lapins is fourth. Well done to you, Richard. Fifth is Ribley. Sixth is Vanden Hudding. Day in seventh. Lawrenson finally gets points for the NRWO in eighth. Ninth is Shepherd and Fulcher in 10th. I'm still in disbelief. I'm actually still in disbelief.
That was one of the best endings of a race I've ever seen in my life.
I can only think about an IndyCar series that has these close finishes or stupid finishes or whatever. I'm
just lack of words.
It happened.
I'm honestly lack of words.
Can't believe it.
And at this point, you know, this is the kind of arguments that start Halo is needed for these cars.
I'm just
We need a marshal to explain how the race will end.
Yeah, yes, oh my days. What? People are saying Halo is needed. In some of these instances, yes, Halo is definitely needed, but I'm just oh God. Oh God. Right then, I suppose we'll get ready for the post-race interviews in a few minutes. So please take a breather and don't go away. Get yourself a drink or something. Okay, don't go away. Okay, gentlemen, we are back for the interviews for the 2018 San Marino Grand Prix. We're joined by the winner, the strange winner of that was Jan Wozaka, Lawrence Doherty, and the boss of Drillers Motorsports, of course, my colleague in Joey Vielerich. So welcome, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Hello.
So first we'll come to you, Jan. First of all, I would say congratulations. Should I say congratulations after that somewhat extreme finish? You've been pushing for the last few laps, trying to push up to Jan, but nevertheless, you must be delighted after that eventual result.
Yeah, thanks. We're gonna see if I'm gonna win the race. We don't know how the the people decide with the penalties, if I'm gonna get a penalty or not, and Lawrence. Yeah, I had a pretty bad start. Like, on my screen, I didn't false start, but I still got a penalty. And yeah, later on, it was pretty easy, overtaking all the slower cars. And at the end, catching Lawrence. And I tried to make a move up the inside and into the last corners. I pushed him a little bit off the track. Okay, and then in the last chicane, I don't know what just happened. Like, on my screen, he just crashed into me, whatever. I don't know. We're gonna see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, Lawrence is going a little bit crazy in the chat, saying I should move on from you. Well, we'll get to you in a bit, Lawrence. Okay, let me just ask Jan one more question. Of course, we're going to ask other people. We're going to ask, well, Richard and Jeffrey's going to ask him a question. I'm going to ask you one more question, Jan. When Lawrence made his stop, why didn't you make the stop after him? I mean, that could have avoided that incident at the end of the race.
Well, of course you could avoid it. Like, maybe I could also avoid it a little bit, overtaking him. But yeah, I don't know what he was thinking in the chicane. Like, that's just crazy. Like, you don't have to react as that when you get past. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Richard, if you'd like to ask him a question.
Jan, that was a fascinating performance at the end of the race. How were you feeling? How were the tires when you were trying to catch up with Lawrence? It really looked like you were pushing hard the tires, really burning them, really killing them. How was it?
Yeah, as always, I wear a lot of the tires. Like, usually I'm never good at saving them, but yeah, in the end, I was faster, and yeah, it came down to the last lap, and yeah, that's what happened. But yeah, overall, I'm happy about my pace. Yeah, that's it.
And Jeffrey, Jeffrey, would you like to ask him a question?
I don't have anything because I couldn't actually watch the race, so I don't really can make.
Okay, fair enough on Jeffrey. So thank you very much, Jan. Lawrence, I would say bad. I would say bad luck a little bit for losing the race there. You had a pretty much a strong form in the very last part of the race until what happens there. So so how are you coping with it so far?
He has a reputation. I can't really, go on that because he's just known to do some stuff like that. So I'm not gonna comment on it. I just want to know what the officials are gonna do, and I'm expecting a certain answer, whether that's like, if I get the win or not. I mean, I've already got an expectation, and I just want to know what the officials are going to come out with, because it should be funny either way.
Yeah, I know.
I would like to know what your opinion of that was, or anyone else on the stream, because from my point of view, it wasn't a great move.
Well, I watched the replay, and which of course shows up on the stream. it actually looks that in terms of the Ravazza incident, yes, Wazuka actually just forced your way up upon you, but when it comes to the last chicane, you kind of lost the back end, which of course led to that flying incident, which of course gave Wazuka the win. Do you feel that you'll finding out what happens in terms of the Ravazza incident?
Well, I'm not gonna let it go if that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm just trying to know what the officials are gonna say about it, because I'm not really gonna talk about it.
Okay, Richard, do you like to ask Lawrence a question?
Lawrence, you were leading the race all through the end, but what was the strategy? How did you manage to do this in such a perfect way until Jan Mosnica took it away from you?
So Jan jump started. He had a drive through, and I had qualified in Q1 on super soft. So, I mean, from testing, doing a little bit of driving around, I'd seen that the supers at the start would be better. So I qualified Q1 supers, and I started on the supers. I think I did like 19 laps until my first stop, and the pace didn't really drop off. But the thing that I think could have changed this whole race is that I don't know if you caught it on stream, but I did spin. I had a spin, and that's probably what let Jean catch up.
Okay, thank you very much, Lawrence. We're going to talk to one more guy, of course, is the boss of Julius, of course, my fellow colleague in that sense, is Mr. Joey Followich. Hello, Joey.
Yes, good evening, lads.
All right, so Joey, first of all, I would say congratulations on the win for Julius, of course. Also, a couple of points on behalf of Ruben van den Hudding. That means that Drillers are now pretty much coming to pretty much staying on top of the constructor standings, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy how the first half of the first season actually, paid off for us. But we still don't know the results of this race yet, because obviously this incident is still under investigation. So I'm not happy yet. I just want to know what the officials do, and then I'll let you know.
Yeah, because they'll be looking forward to it. So I don't know what else to say at the moment. So Richard, if you'd like to ask Joey a question.
Actually, I do have a question for Joey. We had Roy Lichensveld debut here in Imola. How do you feel about this coming back of Nova Racing to Waga, and how did you bring up Roy?
I'm quite happy that Nova's back. Well, now Nova's part of the Drillers Academy, so we got younger drivers, more inexperienced drivers who can now just first race on with the academy before stepping up maybe in the future to Drillers Motorsport. And I think Roy did well. This is his debut. I didn't really expect much from him, but I'm happy how he handled and he knows the car home well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Joey. And that pretty much concludes it. And the next race is taking place on April Fool's Day. But I tell you now, this next race ain't no fool's game. It is the Monaco Grand Prix around the Monte Carlo Street Circuit on the 1st of April, same time, 6 p.m. British Summer Time, from here on the WRL YouTube channel. Thank you very much to our guys for tuning in today. Before we go off there, does anybody like to say a last few words?
Well, keep on watching Waga, because this was an amazing race, was it?
Jeffrey?
He's dead.
No, he's not.
No, I'm not. I just kind of got shocked by the sudden, you need to talk thing. But yeah, this is the standard here. Keep watching Waga. It's fun. Apparently, it's fun to see cars fly, which you don't usually expect. But
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching the San Marino Grand Prix. Thank you very much to our people coming in for the interview today. Thank you very much to both Richard C. and Jeffrey Backer. Okay, and yes, awkward silence. And yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. This has been Ron Squire. Thank you very much for watching. And let's not have any after broadcast incidents. Yes, we know. And yeah, we'll see you the next time. But until then, goodbye.
What?
Us.
Let's go back to the race room.
Yeah.